Hello guys, Jesus here back again, and right now I'm going to show you something pretty cool that I made. What is this doing here? That might be some interesting stuff to consider. This is a horizontally stacking tunneling concrete cannon, or like the concrete version of a worm cannon, I think it's called on 1.8, where you would horizontally stack some sand at Y1 and then, well, tunnel it away every time. That helps a lot against patching. It basically makes it extremely hard for them to patch, unless they know what they're doing, in which case it's pretty easy. So this obviously being concrete, you can stack it in mid-air as long as there's water. There is some requirements for this cannon, which is that if you go through the walls here like this, you must do it where there is water sources. So if they're not water sourcing their whole walls, like some idiots maybe using ice blocks or something, if they didn't do that, then you can't really go through here, since if you make a bigger hole, concrete powder would stack in here, fall down, and then you couldn't tunnel it, because the concrete wouldn't keep stacking further back. So what you would want to do probably is go at the top layer where they have the sources placed, and then you could add a ref down in their base, something like that, just nuke down into their base or something. So you would probably want to add a guider and put this to roof height. This is not some kind of release or anything, since this is a very wacky setup. Just kind of showing this tech off here. So the maximum range I was able to get on this was about 12 chunks. I'm pretty sure that was due to a lack of power, even though I'm using about, I think, 700 TNT. That was due to a lack of power on the concrete, I think. Now 12 chunks for a concrete cannon is still pretty good. That's more than the maximum allowed buffer on some 1.16 servers. I think on Mirage it's 15, so you'd need to add some power. I also think this could be very useful on there, because I heard, I don't know if this is true, I've never played Mirage, but I've heard that you can use concrete cannons on lava there, and people just spam sand walls. So this would just completely get around that issue, just make a tunnel at the highest layer where they've placed their water, and then what would happen is this would make it very hard for them to patch unless they know what they're doing, which would be making air gaps that would completely ruin this cannon. You would probably want to have this be able to float to the side at least a little bit to prevent them from patching that way or accidentally patching it that way. So you can just adjust. So you could put this on a really fast clock, like the worm cannon does. Like, you would need to adjust this compression if you want to put it on a really fast clock, but in general I can't do that on here anyways, because even one shot lags the server way too much to ever think of putting this on a clock. So what this will do is shoot a shit ton of concrete just in here, horizontally stack it all the way back, and then tunnel it with a 12 chunk range, I think. This is some pretty cool technology. Sadly, the lag is a very big issue with stuff like this. We use this much power. If I put any harsh triangles on this cannon or more power, this will crash the server every time. So sadly can't really do that. Now you see we've got the water, and now it's getting tunneled. Got a lot of spare tunnel. You could probably reduce the power and tunnel by just a shit ton. I just got a lot of spare because I thought better too much than too little, right? Let's do this again real quick here. There we go, got our concrete. And there goes the tunnel. Breaking these walls, obviously. Alright, let's just assume though that we've already broken all of these walls. So I can just show off the max range. Obviously it takes a one shot per wall. I don't know how many walls I had on this. Let's just break the last ones. This is the block, I'm not sure on if it will break this one or not. It should break this one, so let's try on that one. Just gonna fire the cannon with my alt over here. This is all legit. This is my alt still at the cannon. Let's get this here. There we go, there's our concrete, and now the tunnel is firing. And this should tunnel it all the way back here if I have enough tunnel, which I put a shit ton of tunnel into this, so I think it should be good. This will load for a solid while though, as far as I'm concerned, since shit's laggy on this 116, especially because there's no real optimizations on here. Now, apparently I didn't have enough tunnel actually. That might have been a chunk loading issue. Yeah, definitely a chunk loading issue with the tunnel. Apparently you don't need to load the chunks. Apparently the concrete powder loads the chunks itself. Tunnel doesn't, or TNT doesn't. So I would need to... Maybe I can be here and... I could go a little further back like this, and my alt could go to the start of these walls, like maybe here. Something like this might work. Maybe we could load all these chunks. Oh, we haven't stacked enough, I think. Let's see. Here. I probably do not have enough concrete in here in this compression for at the moment. That's just a little trick here. So this is not a chunk loading issue after all, it's just me not having a lot of concrete in here. I think this is more than enough now, because that is a shit ton. Obviously that concrete compression needs to be redesigned. That's for shooting this large amount of, like shooting hundreds of powder. That's a really small compression for that size. So hopefully this works now. Apparently, did it work? I think it did. It's lagging too much to tell though. And now it's tunneling all the way back. Yeah, let's wait for our chunks to load. Here we go. So sadly, another issue with this. I don't know if this is an issue on every server. I would assume not. This is probably just an issue with lag, is that it can make these air bubbles. Now one of these air bubbles will cost you one shot of concrete, so you'd need to shoot concrete twice and then tunnel if there's one of these. These get caused by lag. As you can see, we did bust that back wall here. That's at 12 chunks, shooting over 300, or not over 300, over 200 concrete powder, I think, almost. So yeah, great fun, this cannon. I'm sure you could make something really good with this concept. I might make an actual version of this that you can properly use with like a guide or two max height and double pulse this power and have the tunnel be in the same cannon, because obviously this is a bit too big right now. And do some neat stuff like that. But for now, this is just a little showcase of the concept that you can actually do this. Well, see you guys.